Y'all, twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman infidels. I know you're drunk with power, brother. That's not juice. I see you chasing millions, brother. That's not food. And now when the banana peels tells you, I'll tell you that's not fruit. Another brother shot down, but that's not news, infidels. We're about to shoot on everybody here today because I don't care if you think you're the best gamer on Twitch or you're just another bitch who's trying to snitch online. It's Hacker Hameen. It's Big Stevie Cool breaking through the glass ceiling. Downward dog. Up, down, and you can't ban us because we're too hot to handle here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, your Friday locker room. YOLO. Feeling ready to do some evil now after that Broster's coffee hit me and watching some promos and going through social media hate this morning. They got me fired up already, Stevie. I'm not sure how the rest of the day is going to go, but if this is any indication, it's going to be hot like lava, man. So sleeves off.
Sleeves off.
Yeah.
Actually, it's laundry day, so the sleeves come off.
Sorry to cut in, but first of the chat room, our own Triple D Dippin' Donuts. We were just talking about you, man. That's why I'm so fucking hot right now. Not because of you, but because of what's going on, man. But we're gonna get them. If they try and fuck with us, they can't work workers, man. They're only walking into a trap. It's a trap.
We were saying off air, same thing we always say. Like I told Poppin on off air when we got off because, you know, once in a while it gets to us, you know what I mean? Some of the hate we might get and things just to, you know, when you're talking about super productive people that are trying to do and create and perfect and do all these different things. And you know, to Triple D's like that in this family with Dippin' Donuts, just trying to make their business model better products, better donuts, expanding the menu, so on and so forth. You're going to get people that have absolutely, they're not competition. They're not going to try to open up their own donut shop. They're not going to try to start their own fitness business. They're not going to try to get into professional wrestling or run a media group. They'll just try to destroy you because they literally can't do any better. They have to drag it down. It's the old lobsters in the pot mentality where the one lobster is trying to get out and all the other lobsters that are boiling will drag that one lobster that's trying to escape back. And it's the old neighborhood adage, like back in Philly. They never really wanted you to leave the neighborhood and do better because then they would know that they needed to do better with their life. It really is it's a crossroads. And unfortunately, 2020, everybody else, I'm afraid, is choosing the wrong road for their own life and the wrong road for society.
You're not wrong there. I chose the wrong locker room this morning as I put the Monday locker room. Sure feels like a Monday on a Thursday, but it's your Friday locker room ultra declassified kayfabe breaking stooge report Thursday edition as we record it live here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. Thanks for the kick in the nuts as well, right out of the gate on that one, guys. You guys are really on it. I see Justin French, X Butcher, Maple Leaf Stoner, J Hal Domino, Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass, Evil Lord Vaden, Tech Examined, and Triple D, like I said, in the chat room already on YouTube or on Twitch. Ben Hameen channel on YouTube if you're catching us there. You guys, we appreciate it. Last night we had on Deplorable Janet, and, you know, follow her at Deplorable Janet on Twitter. You guys, thank her for coming on the show as we try and strengthen, you know, the truth-seeking coalition instead of doing exactly what they want to do, which is us be divided, divisive against each other. Not having it, not falling into the bigger plans, man, or any of that kind of shit, dude. And it was a, you know, good show as we approach 9/11 in the middle of this week. Something we always have to touch on to some degree when, you know, they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes for year 20 or whatever it is to push their agenda, man. But, yesterday, I don't know, dude. Between yesterday and today, I don't know if something they've been spraying in the skies or putting in the water got activated with, you know, the other part of it to start turning people. But maybe it was just my day yesterday, but there's something in the air yesterday, man, that really shifted. I don't know.
Maybe they stopped spraying and now you're instead of being docile, you're getting mad.
Yeah, right.
Somebody in the chat goes, how do I look so rested? It's the the cam link with a DSLR and a good lens. That always
And
helps.
he just went to the beach and did yoga for 3 days, which I'm very happy he could get away. Triple D with the bits, man. Appreciate you, bro. Jeebus the God, see you too, homie. Certified G. Y'all. You want to hear my and Stevie's opinion on 9/11? All you need to do is look at World Trade Center 7 and then go back to the Conspiracy Horsemen. And we've done probably 3 or 4 shows on it now. We've had 9/11 fire commissioners on. We've had real in-depth looks on energy weapons, obviously controlled demolition, everything that goes along with it, propaganda-wise, for-profit war-wise. So, do you really need my opinion on it? You know it's not the truth. It's a Mossad and CIA, engineered tactic to enact a Patriot Act and put the NSA in power. And now 20 years later, we are where we are because of not learning for any lessons, not saying no and putting the people on trial who needed to be put on trial and giving up all your civil liberties for fear. That's where we are. And that's why we're in the state we're in now, man.
I think the bigger point is not to try to tell everybody what we think happened or like what the theories are, but just look at the narrative and look at the 9/11 Commission report, look at the official everything. And then previous to that, just a day previous, about the $2.3 trillion missing from the Pentagon budget. And that particular office was exactly where the impact was with that. I mean, this is the thing, like we always say, like just like the Clinton kill list or anything like that, which by the way, it's only 46, not 100. Sorry. They've only been,
we could be over 100.
But if any one of us as a normal citizen or a normal human being gave a story like that to the cops, do you really think they would be like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. You're free to go. Not to mention the building. Like, well, the building went down. You're talking about the planes, and there was no plane to hit that building. And wow, it looks like a controlled demolition. 3 newscasts said that as it was happening, and then the Vince McMahon script rewrite happened throughout the day, and it's something else.
We had to make that new hot baby face Ashley Banfield and make sure she was ready to go.
She disappeared when she changed her tune and started questioning. Remember, she was America's sweetheart. Now, where is she?
Ghost, man, gone. So it's all there. Hours of content. Hacker.
Well, here's the other theory. I'm sorry. The interesting theory. Remember, we were trying to get that Russian engineer on, the Russian nuclear engineer. He kind of disappeared. Tactical nuke. There's certain radiation things that are talking about Building 6. XR Bushwick's talking about it. Very reminiscent in a way to what happened in Beirut. And we were talking possible tactical nuke there or a directed energy weapon. Even though the blast wave is a lot different, it could have been 20 years to perfect the technology. There could have been a trial run. There's all these, there's no planes theory. There's a hologram theory. If you really want to get in some interesting fringe stuff, just to kind of get out there and look at the possibility of technology. Because if you think drones just came into the consumer market first and wasn't 20 years in the making with military stuff, and then the advancements of military technology, all consumer, even the iPhone is based on some form of military technology, possibly extraterrestrial technology. There's things that are reverse engineered all the time. So rather than go into the truth and lies of 9/11 where Michael Rapport or Rupert, which is an interesting presentation, but could be considered boring. These theories are more exciting and fun to look at.
If Michael Rappaport delivered that, it would be a way better.
Yo, New York Knicks suck. That's right. And 9/11 was an inside job, motherfucker. Right?
It's a good Rappaport. Yeah, man. But that's where we're at on all that, and my whole gimmick revolves around it, and it will continue to until probably my end of days. Shut up, Vinny Paz, man. But that's how we're breaking it down this week. So check out Conspiracy Horseman dropping Friday. As we continue closer to the madness of November, we'll see. Try and keep our cools, keep a level head, and be the workers that we're going to. Amp Williams, I see you out there, homie. I got to call Andrew Yang. Actually, this afternoon was my plan to do that. So we'll see how far we can get with that and drop that pebble in the pond.
That'll be a special. We can get them on today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. We'll take the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be ready to rock. Man, you were ready to rock. New Stevie Richards Fitness yoga program, you guys, right from beautiful beaches in Clearwater Beach, Florida, I believe.
St. Augustine Beach.
St. Augustine, thank you.
Same difference.
And it's just another awesome product from StevieRichardsFitness.com, Hameen Media Group, Russo brand, to put it out there to all our listeners. If you're, going back to the gym's crazy already. Wear a mask, do this, jump through a fiery hoop, turn around, bless yourself with holy water, and you just might be able to get to use the pec deck machine. That's pretty much what it takes. So why would you go out and do that when you can escape to the beach right in your own home, put it on your big screen TV, Troy, and do some crescent pose, some warrior 1, 2, and 3, and stick with what we got going on here at StevieRichardsFitness.com, Hameen Media Group. Great work, Stevie, as always. Such a fast turner, such a professional product, and always for the betterment of all of our listeners and anybody out there looking to improve their lives.
Thanks. It's funny. People seem to like the yoga commercial even better than the workouts. Maybe I should have sold that.
We just need sexy clips of your outline and silhouette. That's it. We're just going to cut them into every show, and our numbers are going to go up.
Yeah, it's an amazing time. We talk about all this negative stuff and everything, but once again, the negativity of people trying to bring down other people's brands or projects or passion things, like with Papa Don's wrestling career. You can literally do everything for minimal investment. You can teach yourself free software like DaVinci Resolve to edit the video like I edited on the beach with the yoga video, which was shot on an iPhone 11. So mostly everybody has an iPhone or some sort of smartphone. There was no audio because I did a music track that was royalty free that I searched on YouTube, and it took 5 minutes to find the one I wanted to. If you have a will, there can be a way, you know what I mean? And even the yoga videos, it's a 2-camera shoot with one being an iPhone. The audio, I needed to make it as good as possible. Ben gave me some feedback, so I leveled out and normalized the audio and removed a little bit of background noise, all with a free version of DaVinci Resolve. And the camera I bought, I'm using here as a webcam. So I'm using multi-purpose things for that, for filming, also for streaming. It's all just kind of maybe one investment, but then I'm maximizing the monetization of all that. And then $330 a year for Squarespace in order to sell these digital products that I make once. For instance, the 12-week resistance band program is still the most popular thing on the website. I created that and then tweaked the aesthetics of the PDF like 2016, early 2017. It's still selling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product that can sell forever, and I can choose to upgrade it or do whatever I want. But that is still making me money off of one investment of time and some money. Same setup I have now with video and audio as well. So just a little inspiration for anybody out there that if you think there's no model for you to do something, even just an hour a day in front of your computer, it doesn't have to be a brand new iMac. It could be an older laptop or Windows or Mac, whatever you have, even an iPhone and an iPad. You can create something and try to monetize it and make money off it.
The Sons of Scotland say, do you post bands to the UK? And I think you can get bands whatever you want. When you sign up for Stevie Richards program, it's an instant download of the PDF, which links you to the videos. So if you even wanted to go to your local, I don't know what they have Walmart wise there, to get started and just get a Gold's Gym band to start getting the movements down, you can do that today. Otherwise, the resistance bands that are a little bit higher level that are on his site, I'm pretty sure we have a lot of UK users. They should be able to get shipped.
Yeah, and they get the instant download and lifetime access. And as far as the bands and the door anchor, when you buy the programs or anything, I give you recommendations, not just to my site, but if you're in the UK, Canada, Australia, Saudi Arabia, we have a few people, UAE. I give you the Amazon. I say Amazon, these brands are what I recommend. Dynapro and Lifeline, look for those on there. and it's easy. You can be
I
up
got
and
some Diamond
running.
Pills. I like them for sure. They're good stuff, man. Yes, the UK has Walmarts. I'm sorry, guys. Try and avoid them if you can, if they're like ours anyway, which are future FEMA camps. Yeah, man, but good stuff to improve your lifestyle. We've been sitting here in house arrest. You're supporting a small businessman, supporting yourself, and it's all win-win-win with StevieRichardsFitness.com. There's no doubt about it. And if you, just to go off his inspiration stuff, you really want to be a pirate producer. Stevie's a tech addict, so he's always going to be upgrading his tech or getting new tech from companies that he's influencing for. So that's why you always, see the production level going up. But
How did you know I was looking at the Black Magic Pocket Cinema camera right now, trying to figure out how I can sell this Sony?
I saw the orgasmic gleam in your eye. It reminded me of Chainsaw watching your commercial. The truth is, if you want to do this shit, and let's say you're 18, 19, 20 years old listening to us, and you're in college and you don't have the money to do that, but you've got a credit score, you can go to Best Buy. I know a bunch of producers like this. I know 2 movies that were made like this, independent films. And you make sure as a producer, you know what you're doing, and you go and buy all the stuff on the credit card or what have you, and you tack that credit card and big red. This has to go back on 28 days. You get whatever you need equipment wise, You don't do that until you have all the legwork done, your shooting schedule, your storyboards, your script rewrites, everything's cast, and you're about to go to shoot. 2 days before that, you get all your equipment from them. You shoot your ass off for 3 weeks. Your last week, if you have any reshoots or anything else you need up close, you use it. And on that 28th day, you return all that shit and get all your money back. But you can't, if you go to day 29 and 30, now you're playing with fire. But if you're a serious producer who doesn't want to spend the money and wants to work the credit card companies and Best Buy, these 2 corporate interests that are trying to fuck you over every which way but loose all the time, that's how you get back at them, to be a true artist and say, I'm going to use the corporate structure against them to get my art out there. And at the end of the day, all Stevie really would have had to do was spend the money on the web space for his piece. But like I say, tech addict wise, he loves this stuff and gets the most out of it and reviews it, so it pays for itself. But if you're a young producer and you're trying to get stuff done, they're like, oh, the realization you're not in college anymore and you don't have the equipment, that's how it gets done. The 4-week turnaround, but you got to be militant about it. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck with a $10,000 bill for, just 2 days of laziness instead. So, and then if you have more to do than that, you return it on the 28th day, wait another day, go to the next Best Buy 60 miles down the road and do the exact same thing again.
Well, they do ban you. I know from experience. They do ban you. Or you can contact me, and I'm always willing to upgrade my equipment and sell mine at a very, very reasonable price. I really am. And you'll get extra, like the Sony has extra batteries, has a dummy battery that I'm using right now. And also the 16 millimeter 1.4 lens, which if I get the Black Magic, I have to get a different 4/3 lens for that. So I also have a 50 millimeter for the Sony. So I have 2 lenses. So I'd sell that just to put it towards the Black Magic one.
Sure. And as well as racks and other things that he's tested out for Force USA, guys. So no matter what, if you're looking for something, shop here first, whatever it is, man.
My dad has blue eyes as well. My dad is the only, he's a 70-some-year-old South Philly Italian that still has all black hair, no gray hair.
Wow. So that's where the steely blue eyes come from, as they cut through on the P900, obviously crystal clear. And that's what we're doing here at the Hallmark channel today, you guys. Stevie, are you ready for the headlines?
Absolutely not.
Oh, boy. Sure. Actually, this one I might have to show because it's a visual. It's a visual thing. Chrome tab. Ajax. I don't know if it'll show up there or not, but we'll see. Nia Jax unhappy with WWE for using her featured photo, or face-tuned photo of her. Nia Jax is one half of the women's tag team champions with Shayna Baszler, yada yada. And they're with their newly won tag team titles, they're posing. It appears of Nia's photo is heavily edited using the Facetune application through an Instagram post. Nia said she couldn't care less about the big zit on her chin and that enhancing her facial features sends out the wrong message. Nia has asked WWE to replace the picture at the earliest. She says, quote, I get the Facetune's a thing now, but I'm not a big fan. I wear enough makeup and have great hair installed to pick up where I lack look. Installed. Where to pick up where I lack in looks. Facetune, it's a bit much. Yes, in my untouched pic, you see a big zit on my chin. Whatevs. Whatever. I have asked WWE to please replace my obviously Facetune pic with an untouched version. I'm not happy with the message it sends, she wrote. Boom. And then that is it. And now that's what it looks like. Her
why does
zit was
she look
here.
like? Why does she look like she's in a cutscene to a video game on the left?
Yeah, that's the Facetune. So it's a digitizer. It looks like every 3D printing model that's made of it. But dude, don't Facetune me.
Okay, can I go from here?
Please, dude.
I might date myself as an old, elderly, senior veteran wrestler here from a different era. But I remember the day when I used to be going to the building and saying, I need to talk to Jim Ross. I need to talk to Johnny Ace. I need to see if I can even talk to Vince or even one of these writers to see how I can be presented on TV in a better way so I can make money, get my royalty checks up, maybe get some pay-per-view checks, and get house show payoffs. And they never had time for that. And it was very precious because there was only so much talent relation resources that you can get to get where you need. So it was a Shark Tank, essentially. Is this the best use of your time to contact the office, by the way, through social media, not trying to say that, I just don't understand it. Like, even if I went and said, hey, I want to work more, I want to be on house shows, pay-per-views, I want you to give me the ball. If it wasn't your time or they felt like you were pressuring them, guess what would happen? Your ass would sit home for 3 to 4 months. You'd be starved out. And that happened to me multiple times, all for wanting to work more, all for wanting to contribute and make the company money. Cause I know some of that would spill off onto my bank account.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, dude. This is like the inmates running the asylum.
Was that before, but when you did that, was that before or after you had your hair installed?
Well, I'm planning on having my hair installed someday, but I mean, installed. That's the only thing I can take from that whole statement. Now, Ben, potential social media czar on his 15th round of resumes to WWE. What
15th, dude, we passed 15 back in about 2005.
So what do you think? What's the fine here?
Well, they did it, but her talking shit about it is going to be more of a heat than a fine. If she had done it, then maybe that's a different story.
You know, what I'm saying is that she went to the office through social media to complain about the Facetune thing.
Oh yeah. So I'd hit her with 2,500. That seems fair after all this. You should be used to it at this.
But what I'm saying in a real life, if somebody came to you, if you're running talent relations of a company, say your beloved 2CW or even the fucking Dynasty thing, which won't happen. I know it won't happen, but I'm just saying hypothetically. And someone came to you and said, hey man, when you did the poster for this show, you used Photoshop and you made my tan a little bit too dark. Can you tear up all the posters and do it again?
Sure, I can, man. Why not? We'll spend money on you, and it'll be really great.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. That's my answer. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
I'll do that as soon as I get this guy's VHS collection of old wrestling tapes digitized. That's next on my priority list.
This kind of behavior from everybody on that roster, from one end to the other, No wonder Vince wants to shut it all down and take control back of his company. You might think he's evil, you might think he's gonna, but these kids essentially are painting him into a corner where he's like, I gotta just, it's out of control. It should have never got to this point if you think about it. But
no,
they think they're much more over on their own than with the WWE thing behind them. And that could prove real, like, I mean, what if Miro, which we'll get to him, Rusev, what if he never debuted on AEW and he kept doing a Twitch channel? How much would that money fall off month 3, 4, 5 without being on TV?
I mean, he's the best gamer there is, so
that's important.
Probably not gonna fall off. He's that good, Stevie. I mean, he if he was that good, you think he would have probably answered your call from
Dude,
that.
I swear I was going to get on Twitter. I know I've done it more than I should have. I was going to get on Twitter and say, you're the best gamer on Twitch. I go, you're not even the best gamer in the room. Yeah, I was going to do your live.
I would have popped massive for that.
I'm still thinking about it.
From the chat room.
What is this?
The latest version of how to fuck up your career.
Happy birthday to you.
Done.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
All right, how many?
From his own Instagram, the monster among men. So a little happy birthday.
What is dinting?
Dinting, eat your heart out. Beefcake, meat castle. Hashtag packing beef. Hashtag sausage stuffer. Hashtag I'm an idiot. I know. Hashtag love life. Hashtag happy monster. Hashtag redcon1. Hashtag thank you for the birthday wishes. That right there is 10 grand, maybe even 20, in my opinion. These guys aren't superstars. They're fucking idiot children. Braun Strowman, you're a fucking idiot and an embarrassment.
It's like a year. It's like an annual thing that he has to do something like this. That's what it feels like.
Just come out of the closet. If you want to dress like Pussycat Dolls, you want to dress like the Elf, you want to dress like Wonder Woman, and then you want to do these things. It's apparent, dude. I mean, not to listen to my hater and what he was trying to say about
Tyler has a best friend that's like,
yeah, maybe this is his best friend. Maybe this is his best friend who's gay. Maybe Tyler and Braun are best buds, because this shit is when they've invested. We talked about AOP in a 4-year experiment at a low ball rate. They invested $1.2 million in developing him. In Braun, they've invested easily $10 million in that property. And it's things like this that take it back to below zero every time. You might as well shit on your hand and wipe it on your TV screen, because every time that dude comes out through the curtain now and goes, bro, and in my mind, he's wearing a fucking thong. He's wearing an elf fucking costume. He doesn't give a shit about this business, really. He doesn't know the millions he could have made and become a true iconic legend on the planet Earth, whose name would echo for possibly centuries going forward in mythology. But now all this shit does is show you've got a 7-foot child who doesn't give a shit about protecting his business, your business, your investment, any of this kind of stuff, man. So exposed fully.
He already makes millions. That's the thing. Like if he had a serious drop in money, that would be the maybe the catalyst that would wake him up. This is the thing too, as a WWE superstar, and you know, obviously the business is at a low point and the product sucks or whatever, but you're still, it's 1.5 million people or up to 2 million people. It's still some people that are watching it. There's still customers out there. There's still conversions. And more importantly, this is that month too, where they got the Connor's Cure thing. So as you being the social medias are, me just looking as a brand or talent relations, I would say our entire initiative on social media and everywhere needs to be around this great cause. So if you guys can, the guys and girls can just post about people you know that have cancer, kids or adults or whatever, how we can bring awareness for the next month. Let's just keep that talking point and get people to donate. And let's see if we can push this research a little more forward. I mean, take the conspiracy out of the, you know what I mean, though, as that. Like if you actually thought for 2 seconds, I could do this, or I can go to a hospital and I can play video games with a kid with cancer and we can sit there and I can let him beat me in WWE 2K20 or 2K19 or whatever. That's a fucking, your brand just got increased. And plus, you did a really good thing. Nobody's thinking about that, dude. This is the month where you should be. It's all about cancer awareness. Let's cut the bullshit about Facetune and, you know, denting or whatever it's called. Let's help some fucking kids recover from cancer or feel a little better if they're going to die from it.
Can't disagree with anything you said there. And
who's the marketing person there? Where's Stephanie McMahon during this month trying to rally the troops around Connor's cure?
Well, she's working on Heal.
Well, they wrote Connor's cure a year ago, so
yeah, we Connor's cure. They did the buttons for that 2 weeks ago. That we solved that. Points for everything on the who was it? Daniel Price, 2 Braun Fu. Thanks for nothing. Strowman Newmar. You're not going to find a better line than that today. I can't write one. I'll tell you that. This type of shit is exactly nobody's going to be on Twitch or Instagram under their real name. Well, you can't do that. Well, then they can use their real name. Did you see what Braun did under his real name? What did he do? He danced on. Oh my God, dude. It's like,
who's that big son of a bitch?
Yeah, that's a fucker. Yeah, I'd take him off TV based on that alone. Sit him on the sideline. You're like, and here's the guy 2 weeks ago. The story's out that he kicked in the door and then sat down and had a heart-to-heart with Vince, and he was ready to kill himself because he was mid-carded. And like, the guy has no vision of what he is or who he is at this point. When I see this kind of stuff, like, respect levels pretty much at zero. Really, I'm sure he doesn't give a shit because he doesn't know me, aside from looking at my picture and taking my beard and haircut because he's got nothing original left of his own. So, you know, this shit is just, it's inexcusable, it's unforgivable, and it's a fireable offense, in my opinion. If I had invested $10 million in you, and you think going on your Instagram under your own name, which is already a dumbass mark-ass thing that a lot of wrestlers did thinking they were over, and that it's okay because of that, then you don't belong in my ring, in my business, any of that shit. I don't care how many Saudi shows, WrestleMania, you've just lowered the bar for everybody with this type of egregious shit, man. There's no excuse for it, and no apology will undo it. Only taking it down off your Instagram. In fact, close your Instagram. That'd be the best thing you do. Never get on Instagram again. Every time you do, it ends up terrible, because you're all fools and you don't know how to do anything properly to make more money for yourself or further the business or start business that would trickle up to TV in a certain way. So if that was the way it is, guess what you're wrestling in from now on? You're Speedo Braun. And every week, that's what you're going to wrestle in. You want
Big Dick Johnson. You're the new Big Dick Johnson.
What you want to be, that's what you get. Congratulations.
I remember a story
when you got the 357 in your mouth for real, why it's going on. You know what I mean? That because it was your doing. It was your stupid little childish mistakes, these man-child 2020 things. Absolutely pitiful. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I remember a story that Steve Austin told, that he was going to do a program of Mark Merrow. Then there was a spot on Raw where Sable powerbombed Mark Merrow. And Austin called Vince immediately. I don't think he was on TV that week. He was home watching it. Picked up the phone. He goes, "Hey, remember that angle with Mark Merrow that I was going to do? Yeah, that's not going to happen now." I'm paraphrasing it, but this is what a Roman Reigns needs to do, or somebody that's supposed to work on him saying, "Yeah, I just looked at his Instagram. We're not doing that anymore," and have that down the line to where he's got to work like team
Our
up with
Truth in the
Fandango on NXT with comedies. Like
Yeah.
he's got to go to NXT now or something because everyone's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
For the rest of 2020, and I would test him, and it'd be him and our Truth and the Ninjas every segment. That's what Braun's dedicated to now. That's it. That he gets 30 seconds in a blackout comedy segment. That's it. And then see where he is around Christmas time. See if he gets it. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Ben, I might be the only guy getting Braun's face. It wouldn't be anything. What's he going to do? Put his hands on me? I can defend myself. I don't care if he's a giant or not. Dude, there's no eye machine at the fucking gym. There's no testicle machine at the gym. I know what the fuck.
To create those, by the way.
Well, we're getting on him. Stevie just snaps himself in the nuts with the bands to strengthen and do reps that way. Get that, iron testicle going.
Yeah,
but
if you watched was it Da Vinci Code or Angels and Demons, where the guy saw
Opus.
Yeah.
I'll just say,
here's what I want to say though about that. This is the thing. These guys and these girls or whatever think that they have some sort of power over. They did on me when I worked there. I kept my mouth shut. I was a good employee, but now the way it stands, we have no like, oh God, we shouldn't say something because I still want a job and I want to be underneath these people that are complete fucking idiots. No, we don't think that way. It's different. And if Braun Strowman were to say, what were you saying about me on my Instagram? I was like, oh, I got the post right here, dude. I mean,
yeah.
Look at it. I'm telling the truth. I've made my mistakes. I go, but what you're making is well beyond any of that. Tell me I'm wrong. Like that's the thing. Do you think they're going to intimidate either one of us when we have the truth of what they actually did? We're going to just show them exactly what they did and say, tell them, well, how can you spin this?
And it doesn't even have to be a tough guy thing, Frank, with WWE.
But they try to intimidate because they think they're a star and they think the fake push puts them in an advantageous position over guys like us.
But a guy like him who's exposed himself is, in my opinion, I don't care how big and jacked you are, very weak mentally. Dude, I play at fucking God. We play at Godfather levels behind the scenes that people have no idea about. There's no way that he could come over the top on me. A guy like that, all you have to do is walk up, look him up and down and go, man, what a waste, and walk away. And his head is fucked for the rest of the day. He hates me till the end of time. And every time I look at him and I give one of those, should we? Nah, he's just going to fuck it up. Walk away. Dude, like it's those things that will torture dudes like that. And I could have them dancing like marionette puppets in a matter of a week based on who's the new guy. Do I have to get over with him? Fuck that guy. Oh, that guy's got power. I better fucking fly right, or I'm not even going to talk to that guy. Fuck him. Well, guess what? You just did everything I wanted you to do, to walk around in the emotional circle while I sat back and went, I know who I'm dealing with. And I'll continue to drive you down or drive you out because you don't care about this shit. You say, I love wrestling. I love this business, when every move you do goes against what this shit's really about. So when it comes to physicality versus the mental torture, I'm far strong. I mean, I can do both, but the mental side is what I've been trained for. And there's a whole group of FCW NXT people who are kindergartners compared to how real workers operate. Here's one of them. Am I way off on that?
No, not at all. I just think that it's just money. It's money you're possibly never going to make again.
Millions. Legacy. It's money. It's legacy. It's your own career, and you just don't care. Miro says he meant every word of his promo on AEW Dynamite, saying that he's the best gamer on Twitch and that they can take the brass ring and shove it up their ass and all that shit. One chance to make a first impression. He's Kip Sabian's best man. Kip Sabian standing there in a half belly shirt, looking like anybody could punch a hole through his chest. a talent that hasn't even been made on AEW, but they think he's over. And this is and then they bring out someone who's, in my opinion, a bigger debut than Miro or Kip Sabian stuff for his chick, Pillman's kid, and they marginalize him, and he looks like a bigger star than all of them. Then Miro comes out looking like Eminem, and then he's wearing a Gucci free-flowing blouse from looks like a women's blouse from Disneyland and pajama pants. This is the first impression to make, especially when you're gassed to the gills because you've been sitting home on the Florida pipeline doing nothing but, and you're not even going to show in a medium t-shirt, and you're going to come out here looking like the real Slim Shady. Like, dude, you couldn't get a more. These dudes are not stars. They could be massive stars, and they're so out of touch that they think this is the best way to get over. They just don't care. Maybe like you had said off camera when we watched it, he's just on a performance basis and he's using it as his commercial to get people to go to his Twitch. But like, it doesn't matter, dude. Both of those guys are the two top dudes who should have been box office draws, who should still be right now, who killed their own push, their business, and their careers. They can blame it on Vince, and there's plenty to say that way. Vince, Bruce, and Heyman not using them the right way. Sure, there's blame there. But they did absolutely zero to help themselves, to help their character, to further their business, and did everything to kill the mystique of who they are via social media for some vanity metric likes and to pop their wife or whoever, these people that don't matter whatsoever, as opposed to the big picture.
Well, he had a second chance to make a first impression. And there's your second chance to make a first impression. So I guess Impact next is his next chance to make a first impression, because what he did was he went from, not even in this order because I can't quite remember. It wasn't a memorable thing. It was just basically comedy to shoot, back to comedy, and then a little bit of a vignette, I guess.
Yeah. Dressed like he went in your sister's closet and found some things. Like, that's cool. That's supposed to make me.
Well, he wore that on WWE. Remember, he wore the Mickey Mouse or Disney shit on WWE on SmackDown. We're like, what is going on? Why are you doing that? I understand. Listen, I understand that, like, characters on TV and then your real life and everything, but maybe it is an age thing or an experience thing. But I understood after a while that, wow, as much as I would love for people to know me as a real person, and I'm not really like that, I'm costing myself money by doing that. And also just, it's easier that way, just to go make pretend for a few days, come home, I can be myself. And that's my private life. So there is a solace in saying, when I'm Michael Manna and I'm away from everything, it's my time, it's my family, my wife, my cats. I share some of the stuff, but it's essentially my life, and then the life I share with my best friends like you, Sal, Papadon, and everybody who I'm close with.
Yeah, but if you were on the road,
there's a balance in that, and I think Braun, that's why he was suicidal too, to not separate those things. You know what I mean?
If it was 2020 and you could fast forward right to censor, there's no way you would be posting with your wife and cat every day. You would be dedicated. I just know this. You would be dedicated to getting that over, using social media and banning things. That's how you would use it completely as it fit into your gimmick. You wouldn't be splitting the time with like Odin picks and conspiracy stuff. You would be dedicated to your craft and saying, this is my opportunity, and I'm going to use all these tools at my disposal to further what I got going on, because I can't get the meeting with JR that I want one out, but I'm going to use this to lay the breadcrumb trail to bring them to the light that I know is going to make them money. That thought never even enters their mind.
Good point. Yeah. I mean, right now, even when I mix it up, it's just because I love to bring awareness to, adoption and all that stuff and everything. But if I was a heel on TV, yeah, I'm a heel everywhere. I'm a heel everywhere, and it would be even tough to still sell the fitness programs because I would feel like that hurts my chances of making money on TV.
Or you'd be even half smart about it and say, you'd be like, the Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, who had a cat, and you ban dogs and you tell people to only adopt cats. At least you're doing something inside of it and getting heat on dogs. Dog people will hate you. And, now you have an evil cat. Like Odin could have been evil as shit on TV with one eye looking into the camera. All that stuff is there, but these guys don't even use what they have to get over Obazo Ben Chompin. You know what I mean? Like, as simple as that, dude. They don't care. So guess what? I don't care about them. I don't care what happens to them. If they're fired, I won't go. You know who I want back more than anybody? Braun and Rusev. Why? Why would I want that back? They don't care. They don't care about the time that we're investing in watching this shit. They're half-ass matches while they learn on the road. So we finally get to a point where like he can have a good match and you're like, okay, now I'm invested. Oh, but there's the elf. No, I don't care about you, either of you at all anymore. So have fun playing video games, doing the Kiki challenge on fucking TikTok, because that's where you're at now. You're wearing old woman Mickey Mouse shit and pajama pants and dyeing your hair blonde. You went from the Russian killer, an MMA sambo badass, to I'm the real Slim Shady. Absolutely a joke. Just a joke. And the fact that he didn't lay out Kip Sabian and get heat right there, on another ridiculous thing. Let me stand next to a guy in a half tummy shirt who's probably closeted, and this is his beard too. It's unreal. I'm not even going to read his statement on why he's happy about being at AEW, because it just doesn't matter. It really doesn't. He's no Drago, that's for sure, as much as they want him to be. He does reveal the crazy reason why WWE wouldn't book him to wrestle Kurt Angle in 2015 from his latest Twitch stream. He says, the first year I was with WWE, I pitched for Kurt Angle to come back and wrestle. Before I knew about facing John Cena, I wanted to bring back Kurt as the American hero. I talked to two people who are really up there about how about we bring back Kurt? He's the greatest professional wrestler ever in USA. Coming back, I was still representing Russia. Kurt would have been the perfect person. They told me no. They were afraid of and this is verbatim, we don't want to feel responsible if he comes back and dies. I understand that if there was an inside stooge, that's kind of left that way. I saw a cameo the other day of Kurt just wishing somebody a happy birthday, dude. I think he's got problems, man.
Really?
You know guys on pills and what they look like, sound like, and whatnot. I don't think this is age just catching up to him. I think something's going on.
I don't think it might be CTE.
Could be, and I think he's also eating a big bowl of some opiate every morning.
Cameo. This is, I mean, no, I'm not. I know you're talking about the Rusev thing, but you have to have some sort of awareness that I mean, the Bagwell thing is the most famous one of all.
Yeah.
But you have to have some kind of awareness that this is what I sound like. Like, this is not good. Even when I'm tired, or I just don't quite feel like it, or my energy, or I'm hurt or sore, I'm very mindful. Do I really want to appear on camera and put it up on YouTube forever? That's just me looking a little tired. Like, not being my best.
Kurt looks jacked right now. That's part of it. Usually when I've seen a lot of guys, and maybe he's on the Florida diet too, but guys I know in the biz who were pill addicts were usually super like striated, looked really thin and jacked, but that's because their body's also eating away at itself because they're just taking pills more than they're eating food. Oh, that can easily happen. And when I saw that cameo, I just didn't think he looked. I've seen that look before.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Kurt, obviously, he was pretty much fired from WWE because of that problem. That's how he ended up in Impact, because they didn't want that to happen. That was during the course of the awareness after Eddie Guerrero died and a bunch of other people were dying during that time. that they didn't want Kurt to die on pretty much on their watch.
And I think we're back to that with this story, which was way earlier, 5 years ago. But I don't know. Find that cameo, or we'll find it, and I'll send it to you. See what you think, man. I hope not. Chris Jericho confirms what's next from an AEW. He's promised to reveal what the next from tonight at AEW, and that is exactly what he did during the show after losing to Orange Cassidy in the Mimosa Mayhem match at All Out. It appears Jericho's ready to move on to other challenges. Jericho and Hager teamed up to go back to their winning ways in a no-holds-bar match against Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, who wished Athers the best after old Athers fake died this week early, and Janela sold for it, which is good. Then after the match, he took the microphone to reveal what's next for him in All Elite Wrestling. That's so close to chasing tag team glory with Jake Hager, as he reveals they are pushing for the AEW tag team championships moving forward. I think that's a terrible idea. I think AEW has more than enough tag teams that they're not even using properly. And Jake Hager is a Bellator and WWE star that they never have gotten to the top of the mountain yet. He should be the guy that's getting pushed forward with Jericho in his ear doing the work. And then, kind of like a Shawn Diesel thing when Diesel became what have you there. So who gives a shit about another mismatched tag team of two top guys versus tag teams that are established going against each other that we want to see? And they can't even get teams like the Revival over Omega and Page with a terrible storyline that way. And them, the Bucks are completely marginalized, working comedy matches with Jurassic Express. You got Sonny Kiss and Janela. Is that the match you really want to see between Jericho and them? I don't know, dude. It's just more misappropriation and lesser value from top talent instead of getting max value out of guys that should be your top stars from WWE who are ready to shine in a way they never have before. But this is mid-card at best.
What is Tony Khan booking this entire deal?
I think so.
All right. It's tough, man, because they still, even after Cody's, when was Cody's comment about dipping the toe in the water with $100 million? 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
Probably 3. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, you're about to have your anniversary show since you were on TV, not the anniversary show of the company, but the TV deal in October. There's an anniversary show, right? You have yet to tell us what your mission statement and your identity is besides these buzzwords. You're literally all over the place. Are you for equal pay and equal rights like you were before in the beginning, which didn't turn out to be right? We were under the impression everybody was going to get taken care of. Now we know even Zack Ryder is not on a contract. We know Rusev might not even be on a contract. So these people are all like family. Your concussion protocol is breaking all NFL records of being under a minute. And Matt did get back to me, by the way. Matt texted me back and said he's getting better and, he appreciated it. I said, man, just take care of yourself. And, we need good people like you around for a very long time. That was my answer to him. Mm. Are you pushing the transgender movement? Are you pushing the women's division? What are you doing? Are you being the opposite? Are you really being the opposite of Vince McMahon at this point and WWE?
You're sliding Excalibur back in there with no slap on the wrist this week.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, it's something he did a while ago. I mean, you would argue that was right in line with the Sammy Guevara thing that was years ago as well. Sammy had to go to intense.
That's we need this. We have this, and this is what we do for this guy. But except for this one, it's going to put more dirt on our face. We'll just we do this okay. You're exposed. You are exposed.
You just said basically with that one situation or those two together, that it is political. It's no different than any other wrestling company or promotion or the cliques in the locker room or anything like that. It really is who you know. It's not a family or a fair-minded atmosphere or environment. Am I off base with that? just by your actions tells us the rules do not apply to certain people.
Yep. And that's in every Fed almost, but they like to say it's for everybody. But then once you don't, that's why you have the Bucks jumping off that train of like, I don't want to deal with this office shit anymore.
So what's that? Tell me more about that though. They publicly don't want to be VPs anymore.
I don't really know the ins and out of it, but I guess they're leaving the breadcrumb trail and the elite of take the elite shirts off and things like that. So does that mean they knew that Miro was coming and they don't want to be affiliated with it, or just all the bullshit that goes back and forth where Cody cut everybody's throats to get himself there, and then he leaves to go do his project with his boyfriend, and then like now people are marginalized. They got Jurassic Express in the match, and dude, they're working heat on the big man. And he's tagging out for the save. You're just like, everyone is there's nobody there to rein them in. They need a strangler, Steve. They need me and you. They need Josh just to take all this pressure off them, because they can't even book themselves properly, or it's Khan not knowing how to. And somebody needs to put a hand on his shoulder and sit him down and say, this is how things are properly done. Not just because you want to video game it and do it this way, but I understand nobody ever taught you about how to book.
You're talking about a very fragile situation. Now you're talking about the opposite thing of these young kids getting offended. You can't offend them by critiquing them. And then you mix that in with, well, I get $500,000 or $2 million a year because I'm a vice president. Like imagine Brandy Rhodes coming up to you and saying, hey, Brandy, I just want to let you know, this is what you got to do in your next. Back of her mind is like, I'm an EVP. I'm getting $1 million a year. I'm Cody's wife. Fuck you. I got a fake push. I'm better than you. That's what you get in pro wrestling. Your value as a human being and the minds of their perception is determined by your fake push or your fake position or your pay or anything that they can trigger themselves to marginalize you to make themselves feel better and more powerful than you.
All that's
good. Right or wrong.
That's good till I grab his wrist and hold it down on the table and then take my other hand and thump the top of his hand as hard as I can and stare right into his face while I do it.
Which he is that?
Well, it depends what they're identifying that day. If it was Brandy, I just have somebody that I trust put her nose over on this side of her face by the end of the match.
Oh. She wouldn't be in position for that anyway. She missed the spot.
Yeah. Like that's all the stuff. Like I'm not going to be triggered by 28-year-olds who don't know what they're doing and in the wrong way. Like, not going to get over on people who know, man.
I laugh at it because there's a part of me, because when I was in a certain time in my life, I was somebody, like I say repeatedly, I was the good employee. I kept my mouth shut. I just looked around and sometimes was intimidated because people that speak the loudest and always tell you how over they are, I kind of was like, oh, okay, well, I guess so. I'll just do my thing. Now it literally be instead of going home and sweating these people, you, myself, Steve, whoever, Josh from 2CW would go into a room and fucking laugh.
Yeah.
We would laugh. Like, can you believe what that person just said to me? Can you believe it? You were there, but I'm glad because you can't believe we'd laugh and be like, oh yeah, I'm getting 200 grand until that. I'm getting 200 grand to joke with my friends about the stupid shit I just heard. That's what it would be.
Pretty much. And they'd be on their way out too, because that kind of behavior makes sure you're not booked again. We can find somebody 10 times better who's easier to work with,
And literally say, not even play the game of the silent heat. We will tell you that to your face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you don't have to guess with us. Like, okay, you have disagreement. We need somebody here that's going to go along with the ship that we need to rudder and sail along.
It doesn't get to that point unless you're like a DJ Hyde in 2CW, and then he got reamed out by Spike Dudley and made an ass in front of the whole locker room. But when you have leadership like you just talked about, me, you, Steve, Josh, Man Beast, Power, there's never going to be a climate in the locker room like there is now. We would never let it get to that way. because they would know I got to show up, do my job, get with the boss. This is what the boss expects. And I know they're going to protect me, and I'm going to go out there and hit a home run with what they have. Not let me go and switch my finish and politic for this. They would never even think of doing that because the structure would have been set up for them to succeed before we even got to that. They wouldn't be in there trying to add sugar into the sauce. You know what I mean?
Ben, this one was asking about when TNT is going to get rid of AAW like they did WCW, because Tony Khan bragged they have an extension, what, to 2024 or something?
Yeah, that was
a 4-year extension or something like that, which doesn't mean anything, but that just proves there's a Jacob Ullman at TNT, just like there is at Fox. You know, there's somebody there that's a mark for somebody and is willing to put up with.
Well, that dude's gone, right? That was the Riley dude. Was his name?
Yeah, the guy that actually was responsible for the TNT thing. Oh, by the way, our girl Bonnie Hammer got promoted too.
Oh, did she? Good.
Yeah. You think she would like the yoga commercial?
Dude, I think definitely send it. And Stevie, if they even really knew, which none of them know, it'd be the biggest rib of all time, right?
That's true. We already.
List Aaron says, "Who's the worst wrestler you've ever worked with?" Stevie's answer is probably me. But the worst wrestler I've ever worked with. That's a tough call, man. I
would have to say probably King Mo, because he became an MMA fighter during the fake wrestling match. So that was the worst pro wrestler that I ever wrestled, because he wasn't doing pro wrestling. The other one would probably be, God bless his heart, is Heidenreich, who hurt me 100% of the time that I wrestled him.
Mine probably wouldn't be in wrestling. Well, I would say the worst wrestler. I wouldn't call him bad wrestler, but when Muhammad and Hassan punched me in the face 5 times in a row, that was kind of like, okay, we could probably go back to doing working punches. But I've worked with a lot of like younger and green wrestlers who need my heat, and they don't know where they need to be, and a lot of things will overbook stuff. I've seen kids blow their knees out and blow their legs out on dumb shit at indie shows. So I'd say if you're talking the worst, they're probably the worst, because at least they're hurting themselves, but they're also taking chances and doing things that they don't need to be because they want to be impress Tony Khan in their mind or what have you. And they think that shit is going to be A-okay when they're 22 doing moonsaults to the outside on a concrete floor. And then their knee buckles and they're on the shelf for 10 months. So those are probably some of the worst wrestlers I've worked with. Attitude wise, I haven't really had to hammer on people a bunch. There's been a couple times, this actually got me over in 2CW, and I never had a problem working with ZS3 Zach Springate, trained by Killer Kowalski, never hurt me or my guys, super light. And he did good business for me, but he could, because he was, a guy who'd been around 2CW for 10 years, he would often come in with his nose in the air, come in late. We were putting the shitty 6 match together one day, and, the guys from underneath, Super Beast and all them, here comes Springate in with another chick 10 minutes before we got to go in the match, trying to be all nonchalant. And then he comes up and tries to start calling spots in the match. And all the guys look to me like, here's how I mean, is he going to step up? And I go to Spring, I go, nah, dude, we're not doing any of that. We already got all your spots planned in the match. We're just going to plug you in, like calm and collected, and like his face just dropped and he went over and started lacing his boots. And all the guys were like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Because they had to deal with him being a top guy for so long. But that's really, even in the indies where the political lines get drawn, is Springate going to go over on strong on Hameen and big league him, and coming in 10 minutes later, is Hameen going to step up? Like, those are the weird little tests before you go. And how are you going to deal with it in the right way so we can go out there and have a match where Springate's not going to be doing things for himself, going into business and making guys look bad. Not that he would do that. He's a pro. But these are the little stupid middle school fucking 8th grade girly fucking things that go on between grown ass men in a wrestling locker room 10 minutes before it's time to put on underpants and boots and go out there and fake fight. That's the level of ridiculousness we operate at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's things like that. It's more not bad people, but bad situations where we have to fucking
business turns people into the people that you see sometimes.
Yeah. But shout out Springgate, did good business for me, never hurt me, and I never hurt him. Well, not too badly. Matt Hardy was hurt though, and he speaks on his all-out injury, confirms he will make a full recovery. Cut a big babyface promo last night. Let's see here.
Wow. Thank you guys, especially everyone up there. It's so amazing to actually be in an arena.
I mean, it goes on, and it's pretty much him thanking the wrestling fans. You know, I'm sure he means it, but like, dude, this is Khan sending him out there to do damage control, bringing in Rebby with the kid and have her sitting at ringside to do all this instead of the reality of, you know, why are we booking Matt in these type of matches in his career and not doing Broken Universe, and Matt having to go out and deliver a baby face, thank you, you're the wrestling fans are the best fans in the world promo, and I'll be back, and humanizing him to do what? To help Khan save face from the terrible decision that he made on Saturday. Yes, that's what this whole thing was, man. And I feel bad that Matt has to toe that line and do it. I totally get why he would, but after Rebby being hot and then putting her at ringside and not doing something off of that and doing an interaction between her and Khan, that's where the money is. Anything short of that is lip service to fucking cover up and once again sweep some bad decision making under the rug.
I'm surprised they got her to do that, unless Matt was just asking her to be a part of that. Unless they put her on the payroll.
That's the only way I think you could shut her up.
Possibly. I don't think so. I think he is going to be okay. From, like I said, from the text I got, it was like I'm getting better. That for him to even say that he's not 100% that way is,
yeah,
dude. The concussion symptoms, they amplify over time. They don't decrease. So when you're talking about that, you don't even know how long. Let's just say a week or 2 weeks. You're not even in your own bed. You're not in your own routine. You're in a hotel room. You got stale air from the the air conditioning or the heat or whatever. You're going to a building. You're not quite fully rested, and you got to worry. You got your family with you, want to give them attention, and also navigating probably what you thought would be not a political atmosphere, nothing compared to WWE, mind you, but there's still a political atmosphere. We just talked about it a few minutes ago. Matt can just keep to himself the entire day and do that, but he's not that kind of guy either. So he's probably worn down by that. So what I'm saying is, like, when you have even the migraine I talked about a couple of weeks ago, dude, my head felt like it was on a swivel for 5 to 6 days. And I didn't take any bumps, and I didn't go out in crowd, and I didn't try to speak loud. I didn't do any of that stuff. So he has yet to even fully get into a recovery state from being on the road from the concussion.
And I was just going to say that it's super sensitive of your company when you just got a concussion Saturday where you say no, and then everything is on Sunday, yes, around it. We get to Monday, the guy's probably just knowing where he is faculties wise. We got to have him on TV Wednesday to do this babyface apology to save our asses. Oh, you know what else? Let's bring his wife and kid down from North Carolina and make the process that much easier, because that's super easy when you're trying to recover. Let's amp it up and make it an even bigger thing to do that way in a whirlwind, instead of let the guy rest, let him go home, put his feet up, be monitored. Nope, we got to get this out there to save face. That further shows me they don't care. They
That's
don't.
exploitation, pure exploitation.
Pure exploitation. And they don't even see themselves as that. That's the problem. They don't see, and Matt does, I'm sure Rebby does, and I hope she got a fat payday to do it. Instead, where the reality of her bitching out Khan would have been 100 times better, and we would have got something real. Instead, we get some lip service stuff, and we know exactly why we do it, and far more worried about Matt's health than I am about him coming back or doing any of that kind of shit, man. It's just, they can't play empathy and they can't play turn. They just can only play mark for the fans at every step of the way. I don't get it, dude. Well, I do get it. It's all about I, me, my, me. If you listen to the scrum call,
Totally agree.
And I, me, my, me translates when you have Matt Hardy going out there to do those kind of promos. Brutal.
This is the company that cares about their talent.
They care so much. Maybe you should start identifying as an out of the closet gay Japanese woman, and he'd be better taken care of. Rob,
what did I miss there?
I'm just saying you have to identify as something completely SJW out of the box for you to be looked at as like a property that means anything, right? Just some dumb bullshit.
Okay, I was just checking. I didn't know if there was somebody that debuted or something.
What? Charles the Hammer Evans hit me up the other day, and I told him that. He's like, dude, what is it? What do they got? All kids over there? And da da da. I go, dude, if you got a dress, put on an evening gown, go over there, and you might have a good chance, as a 6'4" ex-military sergeant, 240-pound black man, but just tell them you identify as an out of the closet gay Japanese woman while wearing the dress. Dude, I think you're in line for a fucking title shot in the first week.
It's just crazy enough to work.
He goes, no, that ain't me, man. He goes, what do you think they do? He goes, I think they all hit the showers together. And I go, well, that's where they have their go home meeting. That's where it all takes place. So pop Charles Hammer Evans. I'd like to have him on. Good dude, man. He was in the segment with Big Show and what's a boxer? Floyd Mayweather stuff.
Was he the one who took the big bumps off the apron?
Yep. And he was with Justin the Ox LaRoche's Ox and Hammer and OVW, and Justin LaRoche became a BAM. Was it Neely in the ECW reboot?
Damn Neely, I think it was. Yeah.
So they were great OVW tag champs, but shout out to the Ox. He had a great storyline stuff with ODB back in the day. Definitely want to bring him on. Guy I got a lot of respect for. Pops me with his messages when he's watching AEW because he's as opposite of anything SJW as you could get. He's very much like Stevie Ray, to be honest with you, kind of cut from the same cloth of being a man. No matter what, I don't need to toe color lines or anything along those lines. You judge me by my actions and who the fuck I am,
There's an interesting comment in the chat room. I didn't quite ever think of this. I don't pay enough attention. The question is, why are all the AWA black wrestlers trans or SJW? It rubs my black friends the wrong way. It's interesting.
I could see that. I wouldn't say all. I mean, you have the House Party kids and you have Scorpio Sky,
but Scorpio Sky is a hell of a talent. I don't know if I've ever heard him cut a consistent promo because he was in the group, but that's an opportunity to show a different thing. Maybe, I can't say there's anybody. You just mentioned Stevie Ray, and I'm like, is there a Stevie Ray type guy out there that they can, like the guy put him on there? I was like, wow, this is a big bad dude, man.
Yep. No, there isn't. And the marginalization and feminization of the black man over the last 10 years, you can go through New Day to, Bobby Lashley's transsexual sisters, of what they've tried to do instead of empowering a strong black man, which they tried to do with MVP. And now we're into some bully hurt business shit instead of where we could have gone with a Jerry Maguire, the Rock Ballers type thing, which would have been spectacular. Now we have nothing but asinine black on black fighting. I don't know why we can't get a Martin Luther King type character, why we can't get a Malcolm X type character, why we can't just get a Stevie Ray. Forget about my race and respect me as a man and what I do in this ring, and how I look at the world. Why does it have to be about color type character that everyone can believe in? And I think that's because they're so in tune with the SJW thing. I mean, we even have marches today for Black trans rights. That's where their head is at when it comes to the Black experience in America, dude. None of that. And even LAX, who were badass gangsters, they've marginalized into proud and powerful. And what do? They show up in fucking coveralls like they're painting the outside of your house or your ceilings and do stupid little Michael Jackson dances and things along those lines, instead of addressing a true social injustice that's going on with the Trump and the border wall and all that kind of stuff, dude, where they could, if Khan was actually writing to a high level, there's your conduit for that kind of stuff there. Conan ready to back them up, instead marginalized into a group called the Inner Circle so they can get their Illuminati shirt out for everybody. Oh, yay. Like, and how about that in the Inner Circle? You're going to put Jericho and Gimmick together when you've already got an established tag team in your crew. Now you're going to take their spotlight too. What the flying fuck are we doing? And we're not addressing any of the true social issues that they claim to be in tune with. It's all these little side ones that are LGBTQ, because if you dare step on that, we can turn around and cancel you super fast and call you homophobic. That's because they're safe little children who don't really want to tackle any problems. We're using their art. Satire is the most powerful weapon in all of media, and they're not using it at all. And they have a big media platform to do it, mainly because they are scared, don't know, or won't show what's going on in the hood.
There's an interesting interview. If you ever watch it, if you know Michael J. White, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He was in Spawn. He was in a lot of like kickboxing and fighting movies. He's a guy who has some interesting stories. By the way, I don't want Barbara Walters to come down on me if I'm going to bring down the industry by saying this, but he talked a lot. What's the guy's name? D.H. Hughley is another guy that
D.L. Hughley.
They talked about there's a thing. I think Chappelle talked about it too. There's a thing where Black actors or Black comedians in film and TV, they always seem to want to initiate them by trying to make them dress like women.
Oh, dude, Medina, all the Medina.
That's a trend. And Michael J. White was like, I ain't wearing no damn dress, and I don't care. They can do anything they want. You try to put a dress on me, I'll knock you out.
How about the white girls with the brothers there?
Wayne's
brothers. Like, you can go right down the line. You can go say Grandmama back in the day, the Nike,
all the Tyler Perry movies.
Tyler Perry, absolutely. The people joke about gay mafia and whatnot. It's absolutely a real thing, and what they want to do to push transgender bathroom, all that, even though it comes off very Alex Jonesy. Believe me, who gives a shit about that in a Target about what's going on to add a new bathroom if they wanted to. The fact that it's overshadowing the real news or whatever it is, or that it becomes about Sonny Kiss and her, and how dare you say Nyla's not a woman because she still has a cock, and even though she identifies like, dude, that's where they want to try and draw the line in the sand and not the other stuff that is really meaningful. Then they're wide open for arguments of like this, of the feminization of the Black man and only showing trans queer versions of them, and not having an empowered Black character. And dude, if you want to talk where they missed the boat, Titus O'Neil is the number one in WWE.
Yep.
Charity work, Father of the Year, college graduate, supreme athlete, a specimen of humanity.
No trouble at all. No skeletons, nothing.
And they won't even fucking go down that road to show what, and especially for kids in a Black community that's marginalized. And I know people are like, oh, here goes Hameen wanting some BBC because he's talking about the Black community. But if we've got 30 years of oppression and fathers who've been put into a for-profit prison system, that means we have many children that we know in a lower income that don't have a father figure. Guess what? Every Monday or Friday night, they could be living vicariously through that and looking at a Titus O'Neil as the father figure that they want in their life, that they aspire to be, that they should be. But what do? We get hurt business. We get fucking black on black violence. We get transgender queer. We get confusion of what you should be and be proud. We don't get one model of a positive black man. And even if it's supposed to be Apollo Crews, it ends up in some dumb shit about the belt on his kid's wall and this.
And that baby face cheats to win.
The baby cheats to win. We get no moral payoff for, and you can say it about Mexicans too. We got Mexicans stealing piñatas. That's the highest level of where we're going to go. Really? That's where, why not? Why don't we have an El Chapo character, something cartel like, and we have the antithesis of that, the hardworking Latino man, family man who's doing everything he can to, and you see those corrupt, whatever you want to say, LMA or whatever, Mexican mafia trying to corrupt him. And he stands strong in the face of that. That's the story that's going on in the world. We don't even scratch the surface in any Fed with any of that shit, dude.
What about the thing that you have an old school Southern guy from Houston, and the guy who owns the company is from a trailer park in North Carolina. You don't have Conan writing for the Mexicans. You don't have Stevie Ray writing for the black guys. And that's what I mean. If you're worried about them controlling their own business or trying to give themselves push, you hire people within. Stephanie was talking about this, right? Systemic racism, but you have the old Southern guy controlling both TV shows and the guy who's the trailer park in North Carolina who owns it, doing fucking calling people pepper bellies during fucking meetings when they're going to make them world champions.
BR talking about, sure, if I'm getting lost in translation, you shouldn't just assume black kids only watch wrestling to see blacks. That's your real problem. No, I know that there's tons of fans across that, but if we've got 10 white guys doing the moral thing, where's our one black guy that they could relate to in that? You know what I mean? We have more cultural appropriation with, hip hop is for me universal, but John Cena is just that, right? He's your Elvis Presley. He takes everything that's the black guy and you put it on a white guy. He's Eminem. It's the same exact thing that's been done to death since the 50s of cultural appropriation, taking cool black stuff, putting it on a socially acceptable white guy. Sure, but we've reached that point now. We reached that point. This might be a bad example, but the Cosby Show showing Bill Cosby as a doctor was a far change from Sanford and Son, right? We're not like, that's what we need. We've got Sanford and Son. We've got our truth. We've got all that shit. Why couldn't we take Bobby Lashley and show him as the Bellator champ backed by MVP, a businessman who owns his own representation business, sports agent business, and show that we can operate at high levels and we're the ones who get the deals done, like LeBron James that these kids look up to, these $1 million deals. That why couldn't Bobby Lashley be getting his own WWE shoe deal? We're not even close to that shit, bro. We're not even close to it.
And Lashley does own his own gym in Denver, I believe, MMA gym. And I think they have to have kids classes in order to pay the bills and stuff before the COVID hit. Why don't you see Bobby Lashley working with these kids and teaching them how to defend themselves and how to have discipline? And, even MVP, I'm sure he does stuff that you don't know about because he's a heel and he hides that stuff. But that's, it's not a segregated thing, but you need to have, and especially in this media driven division, you need to have a positive role model of every race and every origin and all that stuff. The retribution thing is like, if we were going to do Black Lives Matter or Antifa and do it really shitty in a wrestling sense, this could have been with those people in the hoods, could have been the Hurt Business or MVP and Lashley and everybody to step up like a Stevie Ray steps up and says, no, you're not going to exploit me. And this doesn't define us. We're fucking above all this shit. This is not the way you do business. And they're the leaders that really, the leaders that fight often fucking vanquish, to use a Vince term, vanquish retribution. Why is it always got to be, it's got to be Shane or Vince or Hunter? Why can't it be these guys to do that stuff?
Absolutely, dude. And they seem like they could do it in one show pretty easily. But Stevie, I mean, you might be off a little bit. I know you've had your red Solo cup out this morning drinking lean. So, you might be a little off base.
Yeah. An enemy of my wife tried to poison me too.
Oh, well, that means she's going to
there was a $40,000 TV camera there, so no charges will be filed.
That's it. Raw 9/7 viewership sees a ratings drop for Labor Day. I don't know why it was such a great show.
Thunder drop.
Yeah. September 7 episode of Raw averaged 1.725 million, down from the August 31st 1.896 million. So about 170,000 drop. By the end of the show, they were at 1.63 or 1.61, excuse me. So, no shocker there. Shit creative, and you're not going to hold people for 3 hours, man, unless you're getting paid to watch it like we are.
So the novelty and the bloom has left the rose. So the novelty of the Thunderdome and the interaction, or whatever way they wanted to just change the setting. If they have more interaction, or if there was stuff up on the screen or people doing certain things, they basically said, let's throw the money at this. Let's make it look different. It's a step in the right direction. Now let's fucking milk it for all we can until we get back down to under 1.5, and let's think of another idea.
Pretty much. Interaction wise, there's plenty they could be doing. I don't even care if you were doing karaoke again. At least people could hold up a sign that said 1 to 10 and score them. You know what I mean? Something that's interesting going on at home. But the creative was so rotten all the way around. I mean, I
want to add something to what I said before.
Go ahead.
Imagine, just to add to my points before. Can you imagine? Because Stevie Ray does great live content on Facebook, doesn't get the viewers he should. Can you imagine Booker T and Stevie Ray having a podcast on WWE Network talking about anything but wrestling? Because there are a lot more to both guys.
True.
And I'm just saying, to have Stevie Ray and Booker T, doing a podcast talking about all the issues that are going on in the world, I would listen and watch that.
Well, you guys are, obviously we rib each other constantly and I love it. But even when you and Russo were like, wait till Hameen slides in under the WWE radar. And then we find out about it third hand, or, this week, pop me. But then I get thinking of just in opportunities alone, SWOT analysis of that this week. Why aren't you and I hired as the top two guys to make sure that show gets on WWE Network and is produced, where they just have to show up, talk, and do that? There's $1 million right there. Then we talk about this. You're not going to be on Twitch. You're not going to be. Well, how about the fact that you make us the czars? I'll make sure your giant never walks into a boardroom again in a Speedo while you're trying to do business. And we actually take that Twitch money, that Cameo money, and start molding that into another $5 million property. That's exactly what HMG could do in Stevie Richards and Russo brand. If you plugged us into WWE right now, all of those strings would be reined in. We would be able to control Twitch and social media, where everyone's got a buffer, where they're not like, oh, I better be scared of what I say. Where it would all be planned of when they go on air, so they're not competing against each other, what they're going to do that day. Social medias will be run a certain way. We'll have to find some people out of the gate to rein them in, but that's what they don't have in place right there, is a 6-person team to manage all of these little third-party things in the right and proper way. Instead, it's just a knee-jerk reaction, and that upsets the flow of everything every which way.
And your question is why they don't do that?
Yeah, why wouldn't they step and be like, all right, we know he's got a Ted McNailer, he's got Matt Schaffer, he's got Ray, he's got all these guys that can produce. Stevie's right here. We know he's worked for us before to bring him back in. We don't have what's in place. All we have is the stooges. We don't have the people that can say, how do we capitalize and grow this in a new media realm as it plugs into WWE. Instead, it's like, shut it down. We'll get our own cameo. We'll get our own Twitch.
That's my goddamn money.
Exactly. Instead of
also the selfishness. I go back to this all the time because I've heard it so many times of that just dismissal of these things like, well, yeah, Stevie worked here before, but he never drew money and he wasn't a star and this and that and the other thing. You see what I mean? Those guys never did this. They never did that. Why should we do that? Let's just Bruce. Oh, Bruce told me an interesting story that Stevie one time didn't pet a cat, so we can't hire a guy like that. Yeah, Bruce is the devil in his ear. Now, oh yeah, he said the story that you get hired and then Bruce shows Vince the Master Shoot Theater. That's the way they operate. They'd rather destroy and protect their spot rather than everybody make more money.
But I would just feed into it, and if questioned about it, I'd go right into character.
You'd be gone before you even got there. No, I'm not saying that you wouldn't have it. You just, the way they operate is you would not have a chance to address it because remember Vince got lucky. Vince got lucky because Bruce tried to do this person said you're hard to work with, and he showed him up and went to the person. Dude, don't think they didn't have the knives out waiting. They were sharpening the knives. They just couldn't get the Vince because McMahon was about to lose his company. He needed to give Vince the free reign. If it's in a situation today, they're too comfortable, man. They got too much money. If they lost their Saudi deal and the TV deals, that might be the best thing that ever happened to the company because they'd be hungry again.
Mm-hmm. Well, Vince just fell off the Forbes top 400 richest Americans list.
That's my goddamn money.
That's it. It was all because of fucking Twitch.
And these idiots and the Khan who didn't make a dime of his father's money. Khan thinks because they were on the list, that's some sort of fucking ratings victory for the company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The chairman didn't reach the 2.1 billion threshold that's needed in order to make the list. His net worth actually being 1.8 billion. The other wealthy family Star one involved in the wrestling world is the Khan family. Shahid Khan, the father of AEW's president Tony Khan, found himself at number 66 on the list with a net worth of $7.8 billion.
Khan's better be careful too, man. The NFL might take their team away from them. They are in Syria, like they are the most blacklisted football team in the league. Nobody wants to play there. You got guys like Leonard Fournette say, I finally got a real quarterback now with Tom Brady. It's the guy who basically took a trade to go to a team for $6 million less a year. That's how bad that place is.
Right.
So that's the part. Those are the people that are controlling AEW.
51 strong here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, YouTube Ben Hameen channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know the title might be wrong, but it's your Friday Ultra Kayfabe Declassified Locker Room with Stevie Richards, Ben Hameen. You know where you're at. Ivan provides an update on his injury. Thanks, fans, for support. Or Ivar, excuse me. It was reported earlier this week that Ivar suffered a cervical injury during Raw. The Viking Raiders commented on the situation. During the 8-man tag, he hit a suicide dive to the outside, taking out several of his opponents. Says, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to every single friend, family who has reached out to me. My heart is truly touched from all the love and support. Still figuring it all out, but I'm working harder to recover and to be better than ever. You know, classic babyface Viking tweet.
So how hurt is he?
Enough to not say that he had to go to his shaman in the Viking village and get a rune that would protect him from evil spirits, and then go bathe in the gray mud baths of Iceland, and it would heal his shoulder better than it's ever been, as he performed a sacrifice of a rabbit to Odin, and therefore his shoulder would be healed. That's maybe how I would have done it in character, but I don't play a Viking.
I get where you're coming from.
Okay. Cervical injury. His cervix is hurt. It sucks that Warbeard got hurt. However, it's his own fault. 300-pound men should not be doing dives. That is con video game 101. Hold down Y, double tap the left side button, and he'll dive out of the ropes. And guess what? It'll be fine on the video game. Guess what? Gravity and concrete disagree. You will not be fine. You will be a mark for yourself, and you'll learn the hard way, and then you'll stop doing that move, because that's for 130-pound luchadors who are acrobatic and athletic to do. And after they've seen a 300-pound man do it, guess what? Doesn't mean shit when a 130-pound Mexican does it. So stop doing it, please. Oh, you won't stop doing it? Now you're hurt? Maybe now you'll stop doing it. Thanks, everybody, for all the love and well wishes for me doing stuff I shouldn't be doing.
Good dudes. Both of them are good dudes. But that doesn't discount the fact that maybe you have an opportunity to dial in your gimmick right now and the way you're presented on TV. I mean, show me how he's recovering. Show me. I want to see updates on what's going on with him. Don't just have this guy disappear off a real injury and then come back and he starts wrestling again. They don't capitalize on this kind of stuff. Like, follow me. I want to see his recovery. I want to see maybe he says, I want to drop 50 pounds or something. This is my opportunity to get back into shape.
And he needs to. I just hope it doesn't affect his bowling arm. That's really what I'm worried about the most.
Yeah.
Dude, why don't people want to protect their gimmicks at all?
Is that a rhetorical question?
It kind of is and isn't. It's things like this when you're a Viking and you're doing this. Thank you to all the love for everybody.
Well, because really, everybody has now have a dual personality from what they are on TV.
Tri-personality is also a shoot fighter. Don't forget about that.
True. That's creative on TV doing that. I'm talking about his social media. Right. You know, I'm still waiting. What number are we at with Liv Morgan on? Are we up to 25,000 yet? Can we see her? Can we see her funny, crazy life?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to be super funny. What do you think the funniest and craziest thing we're going to see from Liv Morgan's funny, crazy life is going to be?
I don't know. She talked about her mom. I want to see if her mom was a pro wrestler or something. I want to see, I want to see how they work out and strategize for their tag team victories, the big one they just had, and how they get to be so over. I want to know all these things. I wonder who. Here's a little poll for you, an A/B test. Who do you think is more egregious this week? Do we do this weekly? Is it Braun Strowman or Jordan Grace? Which is the more egregious Instagram?
This week, definitely. It's got to be Braun. He's worth way more money than what Jordan is.
Well, I haven't seen either one of them. I'm just saying they seem to have weekly things that they do on Instagram.
Jordan's a way bigger hypocrite because she wants one thing and then does the other. Braun is just not business minded at all because his creative is one thing and then he totally undercuts it. So there is no Liv Morgan channel yet. There is this video farm makeup look with Liv Morgan and Lana from Lana's channel. If you want to watch that, Stevie.
The land of the millionaire. Where we're kicking off
DraftKings as well.
Ways to compete for one.
Oh my God. Hello. Thank you for returning. This is Liv Morgan, and she is so not wanting to do this right now.
We just showered. Who wants to do full face?
Oh
my God.
Wait a minute. By the way, she has white gray hair now.
She doesn't want to do it, but I begged her. I actually have to play video games for a trade of this pretty much. What are we playing? Def Jam?
Def Jam. Vendetta.
She's going to pretty much crush me, I'm sure.
She might have won me with that.
Her to do a little get ready with me, but it's going to be all these natural products.
It's all her stuff that I don't use.
Oh, FYI, if you guys don't know who Liv Morgan is, she's a WWE superstar.
Stop it right there.
This is my little friend who's not over.
We don't gotta go any farther than that.
Ding dong.
Takes very like, and it literally hurts me to laugh out loud, and it was worth it that time.
Oh my God. Everything I almost felt bad about earlier in the show was just washed away and and fucking made whole. I was like, everything I said earlier is completely on. Fuck it, bro. Holy shit.
I know what I'm gonna say next week on the Horse Moon when Papadon's on.
Dude, that's 52 seconds in. There's 11:27.
You don't need that. There's no high point past that.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of to be determined.
I do have Switch coming out soon. My cable's almost installed in my Wi-Fi. I'm excited about that because Lana's been watching me play video games all week.
Yes, literally. So what we're gonna do
Whoever's editing that, who's ever editing that is trying to bury them. It must be Rusev editing this and just do it. I would have did a super slow laugh, like
dude. Wow.
How many views? Kill my YouTube dreams right now. Tell me how many views that has.
Take a guess. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, 300,000.
You're a little over about 178,000 views.
How many subscribers does she have?
It's on Lana's. It's on Lana's thing.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm Lana.
115,000.
Now I want to ask another poll here. People have seen my content and then the YouTube, the yoga commercial stuff like that. I wanted to bring back the Stevie Richards broadcast and talk about things and do things like that and try to provide a highly produced show weekly that deals with different things, talks about some fun stuff, some serious stuff. I've done it in the past, and I maybe capped out at 500 views. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I have 63,000 subscribers, but I work pretty hard to put stuff. This makes anybody who puts quality content out go, maybe I'm putting my energy into the wrong thing because that's what YouTube wants to see. Does that make sense? Like Liv Morgan will get 100,000 subscribers, just umming and eyeing and talking about absolute dog shit for 11 minutes.
I don't even know. I'm shot after that, bro. I don't have things like that. Just kick the shit out of me in the worst and best way. I'm just like, what is there to say? How do you how do you even have an argument or justify any of that?
Can you go back to the part where she introduced her? That's my favorite. That's got to be an audio clip for Russo.
Oh shit!
I got to do him shirtless. That's what I got to do on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, dude, absolutely. I think that's gonna get shit way up.
I got to get in better shape first.
You can watch videos ad-free, offline, and in the background.
Probably never.
I need to know this.
Premium today.
Oh, I don't want to pay for that.
Never.
They put 2 in now.
They're fuckers.
Kylie Jenner. She's a WWE superstar, and you're launching a
double tap the left to rewind it.
I know what you were gonna say.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of. If you guys don't know who Liv. Oh my god!
Shower the day off.
Oh my gosh! She is so mad about this. She doesn't want to do it, but I begged her. I actually have to play video games for a trade of this, pretty much. What are we playing? Def Jam.
Vendetta.
She's gonna pretty much crush me, I'm sure. I've convinced her to do a little get ready with me, but it's gonna be all these natural products.
It's all her stuff that I don't use.
Oh, FYI, if you guys don't know who Liv Morgan is, she's a WWE superstar, and you're launching a
I didn't know what you were gonna say.
Oh yeah. There's a
my favorite is that's like the boys. If you did that to me, I'd look at you like, what the? Oh, thanks. Like she didn't. If Lana was ribbing her, she didn't get it. But I don't think Lana was ribbing her. She legitimately thinks that nobody knows who Liv Morgan is.
Lana Live Live.
Cheers. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming. I am CJ Perry, also known as the Ravishing Russian Lana, and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting below. This is my Versace robe. I know. How lovely is it?
Shoot me in the face.
Look at this. This is my ASICS T-shirt that I bought for $8.
This is
a T-shirt that I bought. Look at my headphones here. My headphones up here.
This is a steel chainsaw shirt that I got from free when I bought my chainsaw for Retribution sketch when I cut that rope in half. It was a good time.
Was that someone to make up that rubbed off on Lashley or the other way around?
I will put over there playing Def Jam Vendetta, which probably came out when Liv Morgan was 3 years old, which is a fighting game for Def Jam with all hip hop stars in it, which they want to make another one, I heard, which it was a pretty interesting fighting game, but plenty of Wu-Tang members in there. So like the weirdest shit, dude, where they act like they're OGs from the 90s, but they're completely clueless, self-indulgent millennials, dude. Unfucking bearable. I don't. Dude, that just shows how deep the division is of who we are and who other people are. You know what I mean? And take it out of the wrestling realm. They're so far removed from any sense of reality, bro.
And getting paid immensely for these false positives.
Just reinforcing retardation. Oh, man. WWE hires on-air talent Josiah Williams only 5 months after his release. He's the music prodigy kid, I think, from Full Sail. He says he did the Wrestle and Flow hip-hop series that went viral. And he tweets out, God always has a plan. I disagree with that as well. But he's back as far as WWE goes. He's back because they need somebody to do music.
They love, there is a process to like releasing somebody. There is paperwork and there's a whole thing. Why do they do it if they're just they did that for, remember Sarah Logan? You got fired and then, come on back and we'll job you out one more time. Like what? Do you know what you're doing?
I mean, this kid is just a full sailor who got over by getting with NXT kids and doing good music for them. Then they, whatever the thing was with Keith Lee, where they had Keith Lee's music and it was made by the other company and they got rid of them. So they wanted to do that, even though that's what got them over, and they're stupid as shit. So those meetings have been going on with music licensing. The quick solution, bring back the college kid who got over. We can pay him the least and own his shit. He'll do it because he's a mark for the company. Am I wrong?
No, they literally have no foresight for what they're doing. Like, hey, let's fire the kid that did the music. We need some music. Did you hire anybody else to do the music? No. Get the kid back on the phone.
Pretty much, dude. The not to say the kid sucks, and I'm not glad he has an opportunity, but it's not because the Lord request your presence.
Right,
and
be careful.
Once again, it all has to do with cheapest solution to our problem, where we can have ownership and work somebody that we've worked before once. Somebody who may have only worked once. Actually, I'm gonna maybe wait on that one. I'll do that one at the end because I want to hear your opinion. WWE Talent Allowed. That's right. I'm allowing you to use third-party platforms with your real names. So is Liv Morgan, is that her real name, or we'll see. But after putting out the decree that none of them can do it, WWE's original statement said, much like Disney and Warner Brothers, WWE creates, promotes, and invests in its intellectual property. The stage names of performers like The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Big E, and Strowman. It is the control and exploitation of these characters that allows WWE to drive revenue, which in turn enables the company to compensate performers at the highest levels in sports entertainment industry. Notwithstanding the contractual language, it's imperative for the success of our company to protect our greatest assets and establish partnerships with third parties on a company-wide basis rather than at an individual level, which as a result will provide more value for all involved. I can't disagree with that, but you don't have the staff of 6 to 8 people in place to be able to manage all of that on a daily basis for your whole roster across multiple streaming platforms to keep an eye on everything that needs to be to support your storyline, so we don't have Alexa Bliss in a goddamn mythic storyline with Bray Wyatt. Meanwhile, the debut of the Alexa Bliss show, where she's talking about her pot-bellied pig and doing makeup tips, is on at the same time. But you don't have anybody in place to do that. You only have stooges who will tell that about AJ's kids saying WWE sucks, when you know it does. You just don't want to hear it out loud, especially from a family member of a top guy that you fucked over in the last 3 months, and you're already paranoid about him leaving, and you want Triple H to go over on him to do business on his way out so he can just leave and you can ruin him as a ha-ha fuck you. Or what Lana does on a daily basis as an influencer with 1 million followers to get a Bang energy drink thing, do some TikTok where she shows her camel toe, and you can't do anything except put her in a shit match against Mickey James and Asuka with Natty, where you're going to bury the finish anyway by not getting it on camera as a bigger fuck you overall, to show your pettiness that you're really not into taking your characters to the next level and getting max value out of them presented in a certain way. So your corporate shill may be absolutely the right statement to put out. However, your actions and staff and MO don't back that up at all, and you're not really fooling anybody who's in the know. So everybody on both sides of the coin is mea culpa in this.
I agree with that.
Hey Ben, if I emailed you, would I grew up Catholic, I know you're atheist. If you look at Christians changes the Bible after Jesus' birth, they never charge it. You might be able to poke fun out of it. What do you think of the Torah, Jew, and Christian, Ben? Let me sum it up. All religion is poison. There is no man in the sky. There is nothing more than control method from old closet homosexuals of the medieval era and paganists who want to control you through money, guilt, and a boogeyman. If you believe in anything else aside from that, then you're fooling yourself on some level. Everything that is good is already in you. All you have to do is embrace it and say no to stupid choices that you know are temptations that are self-serving. There is no man in the sky watching you masturbate. There is no place for you to go to burn in an eternal pain, and you will not be reunited with your grandparents, your dead dog, and Tyrannosaurus Rexes on a cloud where you could play Xbox together. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
You're absolutely right. It's PS4, not Xbox.
Fuck, I know I got it wrong. Tay Conti officially signs with All Elite Wrestling. Who? Tay Conti, former WWE star. Let's not get out of hand. So already the girl who has the MMA background, who got fired from NXT, who wasn't over there at all, is now, she's elite. You got fired from developmental because you couldn't get over, but you are elite. I mean, in this business, it's rare that we get one Tay Conti, let alone two in a lifetime.
You didn't watch AEW, did you?
No.
Okay. I didn't watch it either. Sorry.
No. Oh, well, she's there. She's there now, you guys. So watch out. I look forward to having Serena lead her through a match, because Deeb probably already taught her to wrestle at NXT, and then she didn't apply the character stuff to get over. Now she's at AEW to not apply the character stuff and not get over, and hopefully Serena can lead her to success. They just got to sign Serena, but they signed Tay Conti because she's got all the credibility in the world. Adam Cole on our last story of the day, Stevie. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on that big elite signing or no?
No, I mean, when All Elite Wrestling, like you said, you got a mission statement, at least with the name of the company. You have to maybe go with that too. Look at what you're doing.
Absolutely. What are you doing? Is this just the Florida clique, somebody's girlfriend? They all live in the same condo place. I'll get you a gig. Oh no, what am I going to do? I got fired from NXT. Don't worry. You're best friends with Britt Baker.
Chelsea Green, who's Zack Ryder's best friends with Cody.
Why would you spend the money on her when Serena just gave you the best match in AEW?
You just said why. politics come into that too. They'll keep Serena around to put over these girls as they come in, but they're not going to sign Serena. I hope they do, but I hope she does better than just signing with AEW. She should be able to do better. If I can release a little beginner yoga series, Serena can put up an entire yoga platform.
I actually, on camera, I sent her your stuff yesterday and I laid it all out. I had not heated on her. I did it in a positive way. I go, this is what we want to do for you. Let's get to work. And so I did more than a pebble in the pond. I took a big old rock.
They hit out on me now.
But just to show, I mean, like this could be, and balls in your court. Jesus with the question. So Ben, why do you want to work for WWE? Because you and Stevie start your own company and take WWE wrestlers who let go and make them stars. I feel you guys could get TV deals with Russo's name, right? Sure. But do I have, Steve, you got a $500,000 capital investment you were looking to part with?
Well, not one I'm looking to part with.
No.
As you know, I've been eyeing up a cat cafe for a few months. I'm trying to figure that out. Listen, we sit here and we just, when people misinterpret, this is the thing with wrestling, the thing in life too. When you call it what it is, or you're honest about it, which not a whole lot of people are doing for wrestling because they are waiting for that call. You're always referred to as bitter. I've never been happier in my life. I really haven't. As time goes on and we're able to do the independent things we're able to do you really think we enjoyed sitting around talking about wrestling all the time? Not exactly. I mean, but people like listening, people like watching, people like and support Russo and your stuff and me taking part in it. And also it pushes people to maybe check out Stevie Richards Fitness, to check out the Pro Wrestling Tee stores or other stuff on the more premium stuff. It's a means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the most enjoyable thing I do, but I do enjoy doing shows and content with you guys. You see what I mean? Like, it's not bitter. It's not bitter at all. It's just, if anything, dude, so many people, even in the football industry, fucking shit on certain things that are happening and laugh about the ridiculousness of it. But they're not bitter. They're people that have football experience and they talk about the football business.
They're not going to go start their own NFL. Yeah, dude, the knowledge isn't just Stevie and I. Many men have this exact feeling, but many men are trapped, and women are trapped inside the bubble. And they say these things to us in chat every day, but they don't have the stones, or they are too scared of how it's going to hurt them possibly 4 years from now when they get the call that they could go back and show, like, dude, I'm living in the now. Planet X can come tomorrow. And there's and the amount of time I've spent and put in this shit since I was 8 years old, Stevie too, and bumps and watching. Sure, I'd like to get to WWE to change things from the hellish, terrible show that it is now, but their egos are still in the way. So I'm going to make money off the industry that I put my time into and pass my acumen forward, instead of letting a Meltzer and Alvarez and these guys who've never set foot in day one act like they're the pros on this shit. This is my house. They're just visiting.
Everybody wants to be second to be first.
Pretty much.
That's kind of what the wrestling industry is looking at us with, the people and all the other stuff that I see going on. That, you know, they're dipping their toes. They don't have 100 million to dip their toes, but they're dipping their toes in the water to see about Russo and what we're doing and certain things. And then they get that little snake bite booking, that $250 to $500 booking, and they're like, I'm not going to do it. And yeah, I'm talking a little bit about Serena and people like that. That once you think you're out and you're ready to do something, they'll pull you back in. Right. But it's up to you to let them pull you back in and control you, or use them to push your yoga series or your yoga videos or whatever Serena or anybody else might do.
100%. Yeah, with watching Swinger this week on Impact, they didn't use him properly. There was a whole sketch where he could have been pitching to his own podcast, and that's just money left on the table and opportunity. And maybe they'll come to it later, but now we're 10 months down the road going, man, I wish I would have done this a year ago.
I still get an occasional text of, yeah, man, your name just came up. I don't even reply to them. Your name came up. Oh fuck! I'll let my landlord know that shit. I'll let Spectrum Internet know that because when they want the $70 a month, and I go, yeah, my name come up in Impact in a meeting. Yeah, that'll still be $70.
That'll
You know
work.
what I mean?
Yeah. That and $70 will pay your bills. Final story of the day. Adam Cole claims that Pat McAfee is, quote, not good enough to be full-time. It appears that issues between Cole and McAfee haven't come quite to an end as the Undisputed Era leader spoke with about Pat's ability. The two men competed in a fantastic singles match at NXT TakeOver Triple X with McAfee really impressing within the match. However, it appears that the normal NFL star didn't quite win over Adam Cole, as the former NXT champion made it clear that he doesn't think McAfee is good enough to be a full-time wrestler. He said, Pat absolutely exceeded expectations, Cole said in an interview to Trib Live. I don't think anybody expected him to perform as well as he did. I certainly didn't expect him to do as well as he did, to be honest, as far as a guy who's a natural, someone who's got a lot of gifts, someone who does love pro wrestling. Pat McAfee checks all those boxes. As far as his first match, McAfee impressed across the board. I don't want him to trick himself, though, because he did well against me, that all of a sudden now he can wrestle full-time and become an NXT champ tomorrow. He is still incredibly conceited. He's an amazing athlete, but he still didn't beat me. I seriously can't stand Pat McAfee. He did really good, but he's still not good enough, and definitely not good enough to be full-time. He got his taste of pro wrestling, and now that he did, he's back to his normal gig.
Okay, you go first.
Pat McAfee, with 2 months of Rip Rogers training, outshined Adam Cole, a 12-year veteran who's been reinforced with shitty New Japan, wrong style, Ring of Honor style, and really only got his gig at NXT because he jumped on the Young Bucks being the elite and was lackluster at best in that. And that was enough to trigger the WWE model to say, let's get that guy an F over being the elite, which he was smart to do. Came in, looks like Seth Rollins light, which Rollins is Triple H light, surrounded by other indie workers who looks like they work at the mall at Aeropostale. You could punch a hole in most of their chests. But for some reason, the false positive NXT Fight Forever douchebag crowd has them gassed up to the point where they'll take insane bumps on guys they love in this business, like doing kryptonite crunches off the top of a fucking cage to a guy who's already had neck replacement, shoulder surgery, and has fucking kids at home that you love and care about him so much. Kick out on 2, and we're still not going home yet. But fuck Pat McAfee for working a headlock story and actually outshining me from being the spot monkey that I am, and not knowing how to put a match together, where I actually fucked up the flow of the finish and am now burying him to lessen him for some reason, probably because Triple H told me to.
You want me to take the Pat McAfee part of this?
Please.
First of all, hashtag NFL drop EA. Let's get that trending again. Pat McAfee was somebody who I watched on the NFL Network who was trying to get his particular brand of entertaining commentary to, jive with the NFL Network to kind of fit to get an analyst job. It didn't, because he was so far ahead of his time with the way he presented stuff. Then he had a podcast that literally he said, I don't know if it's going to make any money. He had his buddies with him in Indianapolis, all the while training in Rip Rogers early on a little bit to try pro wrestling. But then the podcast started to get a little bit of momentum. He started doing that much more. And then he actually got a Fox TV commentary thing, which was super entertaining, but not what get this, we know this one, the Fox executives, which, by the way, Jacob Ullman started Fox NFL Sunday, the Fox on the NFL. He was the producer on that. So Jacob Ullman could have got Pat McAfee as a color commentator on Monday Night Football, on Fox Football on Sundays. Very, very entertaining stuff. So he got kind of pushed out of that. His podcast started to grow even more until the point where he got like money, and then money on top of money. So now he became somebody who was on ESPN, on Get Up. He'd go back and forth. He was actually the busiest guy in entertainment, flying back and forth, doing college football Saturday, doing all this stuff. Still not really getting his opportunity. He was up for Monday Night Football. He didn't get that job. He will eventually, in my prediction. I'm saying all this for a reason. Then the podcast got so huge that FanDuel gave him a multi-million-dollar deal, is my guess, because he gave backpacks full of money to the boys that stuck with him from day one. He chooses, by the way, backing up, was going to walk out of WrestleMania because Michael Cole fucking threw him under the bus because he was dressed as a current fashion statement, not a past old school tuxedo bullshit statement. So he was ready to walk out of his dream of being at WrestleMania. And he talked about it, and he was like, fuck those guys. So he chooses to go to NXT, making more money, having more notoriety than anybody on the roster in NXT. Maybe WWE too. Chooses to be a part of this and really try to do NXT a solid. Outperforms everybody on the show after 2 months of training with Rip. Respects what they do. Shows why he was the punter of the decade. Whether you could shit on or whatever, it's still a professional NFL football player paid millions of dollars, and his teammates or the people in the NFL voted him the best at his position in the decade. And this is the way you're told to answer these questions, Adam Cole. You're burying yourself anyway. Of course he wouldn't want to be a fucking full-timer. He'd take a few $1 million pay cut to be a full-time wrestler, to put up with bullshit and not drive his own brand. Pat McAfee is just an extremely more financially successful version of us. Why would he want to give up the freedom to do whatever the fuck he wants and make 10 times, if not 100 times more money? He did NXT, WWE, and he did Adam Cole a favor by even having that match. And you could have had 3. 2 with Adam Cole, 1 with Triple H, and you fucked that up too. Did I miss anything?
You're spot on. You know what Adam Cole matches I remember? The one where he took the stupid kryptonite crunch on Tommaso, and I wanted to jump through my screen and punch his face into oblivion because of it. And the one versus Pat McAfee. And it's nothing to do with that. The only thing I remember from Adam Cole from that match is him fucking up the flow of the finish.
And the only thing I remember from the match is Pat McAfee doing the backflip and then coming up and superplexing him, which should have been the finish.
For the Adam Cole side, that was, and then them botching the finish off of that. McAfee's the one that shined in all that. There's no Bebe moment that sticks out in my mind like he's up here and Mac's there. McAfee already looked better with 2 months of Rip training than a guy who's done wrong style for 13 years.
But it's
not because Cole led him through it either.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with that.
I was going to say too, I said it after the WrestleMania thing, Pat McAfee, don't waste your time with WWE or NXT. You got it out of your system. You can better spend your time and resources to be in the $50 to $100 million range with your brand. This will only hold you back to do this kind of stuff. It was a good thing for you and AJ Hawk and your boys to say you did it. Football and talking about this kind of stuff is in your wheelhouse. You have a bright future. That don't waste your time and put up roadblocks just to screw around with pro wrestling, unless it gets Rip a payday and pay him back for the stuff he did.
Sure. I think if there was anything, I think he should fight Jake Hager in Bellator. That'd be the next thing of like, fuck WWE. I'll show you that I'm not just the NFL great, that I can go do a match there. I'll fight that big fucker too. And then I'm going to go.
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. Punk.
Easy.
Punk in Bellator versus McAfee. I'd watch it.
Yep. Huge box office draw. And then you could even bring Punk back. And because like they said, they've been hinting at, they could do the match there too afterwards. But it's for McAfee to be jumping all over to show that he's a world-class athlete at everything he does. Meanwhile, Cole sits in Florida, hears Bebe and 2,000 people chant his name, and they think that's the pinnacle, that they're way more over. A lot of dead air ski today.
I just
No.
where do you go with that? I'm just a fan of McAfee and what he's built, and that's one story that I would love to sometime get him on, or at least have a conversation just to see. He told us some stuff, but just to see how much bullshit he really had to put up with to get to the point he's at right now.
Sure.
Doing it his way, putting up, like I said, he probably thinks at the time he put up more roadblocks for himself being himself, but it ended up like one step back, 3 steps forward in the end, rather than the other way around.
Mm-hmm. And even Spiro asked me, are we going to talk to him or not? And this is when somebody's in business, because you don't know if Cole's obviously trying to work here. But Rip also said it could be the beginning of the movie. You never know how long it's going to go. So Rip has inside knowledge of it. Maybe it was supposed to go for him to fight Triple H and da-da-da. Maybe we'll get there and there's shitty WWE storytelling. Or maybe this is as far as we go, where they had plans and it's just cut off because McAfee did too good and outshined Cole, that we're going to stop that. We can't let him get over. Fuck that. So we'll see. I hope he comes back, fights games, shines at WrestleMania, and clock in and clock out, and doesn't become do not become a full-time wrestler, even though you absolutely could. No need whatsoever.
Rumble and Mania, and then go back to what you're doing.
That's it, man. And that's it for us, Stevie, with the headlines, some brutal ones today, to get through everything. I'm going to have to probably Iggy my guys for the light the fuse. It might just be Silvio and MSG today because, I didn't get the chance to watch the show. I was so busy last night, unless we do it later today. But I got a lot of business to do on the side. So I might tap out on Light the Fuse this week, guys. Switch Up September may just go to a 2-man booth for today. So appreciate you guys in the chat room at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman and at YouTube, Ben Hameen channel, joining us wherever you're getting. We had it up to about 66 live viewers, which is pretty damn good for the Ultra Kayfabe Declassified Friday taping of the Locker Room on Thursday. We put over Stevie Richards Fitness so much as he's bringing it to you guys with this yoga new system right from the beach, as well as the resistance band training programs. You guys, there's no need to have any excuses why you're just sitting there not being motivated. You're listening to all these Hameen Media Group shows. Get up, do a little exercise, have us on in the background all day. We appreciate you. Steve Areno, what do you got going on the rest of the day?
I got to catch up on other videos that I need to do. First and foremost, probably have to go buy my wife lunch after this so we can get going with that. But I do a lot of production to catch up on, but I really wanted to get the yoga series out. I'll probably put a couple other things up in the FAQ for the page. Like you can do it with the 12 and 16 week programs. You can do it with the full body workout video, stuff like that. Just tightening everything up. And also I'll post in the Facebook page that Triple D and everybody created and other things, and try to put a push out for it to get a little bit more. I might even ask Russo if I can put the commercial up on his YouTube channel, because I like the way the edit turned out. But wrestling fans can be sometimes.
Yeah, well, he'd love it, man. Absolutely. I got to go over to Russo's YouTube right now, turn on video for an exclusive Patreon shoot on Tony Khan yesterday that we're giving out free. So hop over, subscribe to Russo's brand channel. I'm going to turn that on as soon as we get done here. Along with another one, probably. Thanks to Ted the Man Beast doing awesome thumbnails. Thanks for Stevie and Kaz cutting up clips, and I'm doing the SEO and the green light on them. So it's all hands on deck, team effort as everything goes forward with Russo brand, Hameen Media Group, Stevie Richards Fitness brand. Just awesome stuff as we, have to deal with some of the bullshit to make fun of it and rib it. But unless we call it out, we're not doing our audience a service. It's some phony wrestling. So at the end of the day, shit really doesn't matter. But it's the business we chose. It's the lifestyle and the mafia that we're in. And we're going to keep bringing it to you in the realest form possible. And if they don't like that, please get at us and explain to me why you're walking on a boardroom desk in a thong singing happy birthday when you're supposed to be a killer. Maybe my perception's off. I could be wrong. I'm willing to listen to reason. And you'll listen to it here at hackerhameen.podbean.com. Hameen Media Group, or just search either one on your iTunes. At us. Appreciate you guys helping us build out that Hami Media Group affiliate channel. More great shows are going to be happening over there. I heard some new and exciting pitches, and the 5-star star search is wrapping up this week as we start getting to voting towards next week. We'll have all the information on that, you guys, and the Hami Media Group. Want to say thank you to everybody who supported my local endeavors. Dippin' Donuts, Rome, New York on Facebook, under attack right now from a local SJW group trying to do some online terrorist stuff in the comment section. So if you want to battle back against these small mindsets, and you know and appreciate Triple D and Dippin' Donuts are a huge supporter of everything we do at Hami Media Group, Russo brand and Stevie Richards brand, go over there and just leave a 5-star Meltzer supportive comment. Great people, great local business owners, and unfortunately these pieces of trash that think they could go on and do blast posts and hurt a local family owned business with no repercussions. They don't know who they're messing with. We got a global audience. Don't go and engage them in a negative way that's going to hype things up. Just keep it positive over there. I'd appreciate that. Dippin' Donuts, Rome, New York on Facebook. You can follow them, Dippin' Donuts CNY on Instagram and Twitter as well. But right now, it seems like that's where the attack's going down. So we'll go over strong like heels always do, and we'll expose the marks for doing what they do. And they're their own worst enemies, and we don't need any more of them here on your Friday Locker Room. Yalla.